Hello, David Risley here with a quick video blog evaluation for Ann over at beingselfemployed.com. And Ann says this is a brand new site, and she literally, as of this recording in January of 2011, she has just started the site. So there's not a whole lot here, and she just wanted to get my take on the site so far. So I will give you that. So anyway, being self-employed, I think it's a good domain. I think it's a good topic. Lots of people interested in this type of thing. The one thing you're going to want to be careful of is finding a way to be unique about it, because you're certainly not the only one who gets into this type of a niche. And that's because it's a good niche. It's just that when you go into a good niche, it's because other people are going to be there because, like I said, it's a good niche. So you always need to ask yourself, how can I stand out and make this site attractive and interesting to people who, especially being self-employed people, you're probably going to be dealing with people with short attention spans, short on time. They're not going to be always the most attentive people when they're on your site. So you really need to stand out to them. As far as your design, it looks nice and clean. You said yourself there's not much here yet, and that certainly appears to be the case. One thing that struck me about your header is it's a little big. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. You just want to take into account using the space. Right now, it's just like a lot of empty space up there, and you've got this text which looks like it's part of an image or something, but um, and it's kind of small text too, and it's almost like a darker green on a lighter green, so there's not very much contrast in it. The other thing is that the imagery that you have in the header, I don't really see what it has to do with being self-employed. It's like some circles and this little dude over here. It's cute on one hand, it's pretty on one hand, but on the other one, it just doesn't seem like it really goes with your brand. So I would probably look for some imagery in here that is a little bit more in association with your brand. If you want this brand to be pretty tightly related to you, then maybe you want to have some pictures of perhaps you at your desk or something, or even just look for some stock photography over at istockphoto.com that kind of have that self-employed vibe about them. And maybe if you don't have the design skills yourself, get somebody to help you out with that. But I would look for something that keeps your brand going. I think the logo is fine. If you're not that invested in it yet because it's such a young blog, but if this little guy here is part of the logo, you might want to think about what I just said with regard to the brand name, because I just don't really see if it has to do with juggling the balls juggling many balls in the air and trying to move forward, then definitely I can see that. If that's the case, then you might want to make that idea of your blog byline in terms of help me juggle the balls and move forward. Something like that, so that people don't look at this and it loses the meaning. The other thing is your opt-in. Everybody seems to be doing the exact same thing, but this opt-in right here is it's got no reason to be on it. Now I know this is such a young site, so just realize you do need to write something and give it away. An ebook, maybe a video series. With this topic, you can probably find some tips you could put together, something that you can do here to get them onto a list. Now, I'm assuming this is also a Weber, which is very good if that is the case. Anything other than FeedBurner, really. So you're setting your list up in the right way, which is good. I think the big thing is just to give them something and have that opt-in be a little bit more noticeable. The other thing is that I'm not a big fan of this big plugin here that you got, this social media thing. I see a lot of bloggers using it. I'm just not a big fan of that because it takes up so much space. And notice too how as we move up and down, you got these posts on your home page, and you have that same social media thing showing up multiple times. Not only that, it expands downward with two extra icons. I think it takes up too much room, and not only that, most people are not going to use most of these things. They may not, I don't, I mean, quite frankly, I don't even know what this ping.fm, okay, I know what that is, but I don't even recognize some of these icons off the top of my head sometimes, and I'm in the business. So my recommendation would be to focus on the networks that people are more likely to use and get something that doesn't take up quite so much space. You might want to look into the simple retweet button over on Twitter.com or the Facebook like button. I think those are the big ones. I don't think you're going to find that people are going to use anything other than Facebook and Twitter to share your stuff in most cases. Um, Other than that, I don't want to give you too much to do, but you have a nice looking site here. So it's just some of the basics that I think need to be looked at. Let me just look at your an actual post. Another thing is you might want to consider A, showing more posts on your homepage, and B, at the same time is don't show the entire post, but just show an excerpt. And realize that you can manually edit those excerpts inside of WordPress. You don't have to go with the automatic ones and have it cut off mid-sentence. But see, when I click over to your full post, it's like the exact same thing I saw on the homepage. It was kind of like, why bother making the click? But yet you want people to click, so you want to give them a reason to. Um, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. It looks like you got a good thing going here. Just take care of some of those basics I told you in the video, and if you'd like, you can hit me up in a few months from now, and we'll see how you're doing. All right, talk to you soon.